Live? I think we're live. This
We're
is exciting.
live. We
We're
did it.
live. Hello, everyone. Please comment to know that this is working because we have no one to check now. It's just me. Hello, everyone. I'm Rosie. I'm the comms manager for Carbon Alchemy. I wish I had like a sexier title because it doesn't sound like, like the voice of Carbon Alchemy.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
Peter Vaughan. I'm the owner and developer of Carbon Alchemy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, what are you making? Tell us all the secrets.
Oh boy.
Um, oh
Oh
boy,
boy.
oh boy, indeed. Hello, Mehodor. I wish I could know how to say your name, Mehodor. So we have viewers, so we know it's live. That's excellent. So this is Peter C. Hayward. He's not Peter Vaughan, a different Peter. I thought I'd just swap a Peter.
There's a
Because
one Peter minimum on this stream a lot of the time.
I think
I pressed the wrong button. I was trying to turn my watch off and I made it loud instead. Also a one Peter maximum. That's why you've never seen both Peters in the same room at the same time.
exactly. It's all a ruse. It's all a ruse. In fact, when we were at a convention recently, my partner Doug sat next to another Doug, and it's not that common a name, and we were quite
Yeah.
shocked. We were just like two Dougs next to each other, and they had to do it because in Blood on the Clock Tower, which is what they were playing, you need to know who people are. There was left-handed Doug and right-handed Doug.
Were they
Luckily, we found
sitting
the right one.
appropriately so that like they had reach, or were they able to like hold hands very efficiently?
They could have held hands if they wanted to. They were right next to each other.
But I'm saying, like,
Um,
was their dominant hand ready for hand holding?
maybe I don't know.
Wait, was one of them actually left-handed, one of them right-handed, or
Yeah,
was it just on the left and the right? Okay, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. It did actually work.
yeah.
Um, they're saying it's because one Peter is Clark and the other is Superman. If you don't believe me, look at what color Superman's hair is in the comics. Is it blue? Is it blue? Or is it the
It's that kind of
shading?
black. Yeah, it's that kind of black where it's like
It's the
shaded with blue.
shading. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've actually looked into
that's all
some.
this is. I just
I mean, I thought I'd go with the blue hair, but really it's quite sad and terrible. But yes, so I thought there is going to be a quiz. I definitely want people to join in on the quiz in a bit. I've made it. First, I apologize because I've made it. But it should be fun. It's going to be like a speedy, lots of different types of questions. There's only 20 questions. We're going to see how you do. And if you get under a certain score, you have to kind of stop making games. I think that's the rules.
that's fair. That's actually how you get into it as well. So it's like passing the bar.
Exactly. Absolutely. But first, I just wanted to talk about you're a board game designer. You
Yeah.
also are a writer and loads of other things as well. But like, how did you end up being a board game designer? It's not a thing which you click on at school and go, "I will do that,
No, no, the
please."
careers counselor didn't come by and be like, you know what, board game design in the future.
Did you get
So
agriculture as well? Because I got agriculture too.
I don't even remember if we had that at my school. No,
Oh,
I
we
think
did.
that's not a thing we do in
We're
Australia
out of
much.
farmers, so you're now going to work in agriculture. I'm like, okay.
Feels more like filling quotas than actually like assessing for you personally.
Yeah.
So I've always been super into YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel and I make YouTube videos. And way back in the day, way back 2011, 2010, somewhere like the prehistoric times, I was at a YouTuber meetup kind of thing in Melbourne. And one of my favorite YouTubers, his username was Fresned Tom McLean, was there, and I was like so excited to meet him, and we got along. And so basically, long story short, he was like, "I'm playing board games tomorrow. Do you play board games?" And I was like, "Of course I play board games." I did not play board games. I had only had really bad experiences with board games. Looking back now, I'm like, oh, I just didn't like those people.
Oh
But
yeah,
I've
no,
gone along to
yes.
a game night again and again and again, and just had a miserable time each time. So I was like, oh yeah, I guess I don't like board games. And so the next day I went to his house and we played a game of Twilight Imperium, which
Oh wow.
was my first like enjoyable gaming experience. Which is, if you don't know, is an 8-hour sci-fi epic with all the rules kind of game.
That's
And
such
I
a
won.
welcoming intro game for you. I feel like that's the game you give to your mum to get them
Yeah,
into.
it's the classic. Weirdly enough, Twilight Imperium is kind of a gateway game. Like it's a lot of people's first game because it's such an experience. People will like have a like you're more likely to go and buy a game of Twilight Imperium and be like, let's do this crazy thing, and then find out that you like it than you are to necessarily like sit down and I don't know
Yeah,
play another game because it's an
like
event. It's an event game.
did you already like what's the name, like neighboring hobbies? Like did you like D&D? Did you like?
No.
So there was no like cross section of, oh, I like reading fantasy books, so I probably would enjoy.
No.
Wow.
None of these things. I just wanted to hang out with this YouTube guy, who we ended up becoming best friends, and we're still in each other's lives.
That's amazing. I've wormed my way into a few YouTubers' lives, and they can't get rid of me now. So,
so I won this game of Twilight Imperium. First time playing it, I won. But I won. I won't go into the very specific details, but I was very annoyed at the way that I won. It felt like the game had an exploit, and since then they've like done updates and expansions, and you can't win this way anymore. But I was like, as a player, as the winner, I was like, I shouldn't win this way. And then we ended up playing more games, and then Galaxy Trucker was the one that made me be like, oh, I think I want to try making one of these.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'd be amazed if there are any board game designers who are like, I don't really play them. I'm sure there are people who write books who don't really read. Like, I feel like
Garth Marenghi.
Sure, yeah. But like, I feel like you could be like, I just design games, don't really play them. But I feel like a lot of board game designers
I think Reiner Knizia famously would like avoid playing games because he didn't want to be influenced by what was out there. But I think since then he's definitely softened on that.
I mean, I think he's made so many that he's influenced by his own games now.
Yeah.
It's just like every genre. But yeah, no, that's really interesting. So do you still play games like Twilight Imperium, or have you?
I'm an omni gamer. I will play everything. I have in the room behind this wall is my kitchen, and my entire kitchen. You've seen this actually. I sent you a video once. Is just party games, just like a huge shelf of party games because I live in LA, and so I have a lot of like screenwriter board game nights. I'm also a screenwriter, and I need games that will play any number of any level of proficiency of games. So I have all the party games, and then on my shelf, I only have about this many games. I limit myself. Actually, probably this many by now. I limit myself as to how many I can hold on to.
Hang on, let me just like, this is just an overflow, really, for me. So
yeah, I have about that many games total that I'm allowed to keep.
There are books hidden behind these. So
right.
It's not. Neil Gaiman's tucked behind
nice.
Shed from the light.
I really like Ocean at the End of the Lane. That's probably my favorite Neil Gaiman book.
It's my favorite book of his, and it's my favorite play. It was an incredible play. Beautiful. Saw it twice. It was amazing. But yeah, I love Neil Gaiman, and he's made a board game as well. I think he did the Emerald something.
The Sherlock Holmes one, right?
Yeah, it was a Sherlock, and it was the Emerald something, the Emerald case, the Emerald Lady,
Deer Hunter hat.
The Emerald Dog. Key? I don't know. Which I've not played.
I made Neil Gaiman laugh once. That's my claim to fame.
Why did he laugh? Was it at you or with you?
So I was a huge Amanda Palmer. I am a huge Amanda Palmer fan.
I mean, yes.
And in Melbourne, she would do like this New Year's Eve event. So it was like Amanda Palmer's New Year's Eve event, something like that.
And
so it would be her and all of her just like friends and obviously her husband. And so he came up on stage and he had to stall for a minute, and he like he said something about like, I got to stall for a bit. And you know how people call out like sing Freebird or whatever it is? Like that's the gag. They called out "Sing American Gods," and he had a little giggle and then like sang the first line of American Gods.
That's amazing. I've met him once, and it was at the screening of the new Sandman show because they did it at the BFI, the British Film Institute in London, and Doug's a member of it, so he could get tickets. And these tickets are very rare for like general schmoes because mostly it's the actors and the people who worked on it, and all of the production team fill up most of this room. But we managed to get one of the 11 tickets that were available. And he was and I brought my book, which somewhere here behind these games, which is a short stories book called Smoke and Mirrors, which is one of my favorite. I love his short stories. I have the attention span of a gnat, so I need short stories. And I like sort of gollumed down the stairs towards him, sort of handed. I was like, "Could you just sign this?" And then he wouldn't use my pen; he had to use his pen. Signed it literally as the show starting, and Doug's got a video of me running back up the stairs. Like he's like, "What? I got it signed," but he seemed pleasantly surprised that it wasn't a Sandman copy because I assume that's all he'd been signing at the event. But yeah, I've been to many of his talks. He's always doing stuff in London. When he was in London, I think he's in New Zealand. Or Scotland. Not sure.
I don't think he's in New Zealand. He was in New Zealand to visit Amanda Palmer, but I don't think he's there. Anyway, this is what people tuned in for. The location of Neil Gaiman, specifically.
This
is like the Commonwealth episode.
Don't go away. I need a coffee. Get your coffee. I have.
And that's the end of the stream. Thanks, guys.
I have
Thanks
my
for tuning in.
Tamagotchi water. It's a little dinosaur that bleeps at me when I need to drink water.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, yeah. So if you hear a bleep, it's the dinosaur. But yeah, do you still play like? Do you still play Twilight Imperium? Have you like changed?
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. So my shelf of games is like more not my speed. I like all games, but like the heavy games I never get a chance to play. So Mage Knight is one of my all-time favorites, and I just played Twilight Imperium probably close to a year now. Do you know Barnes, the content creator who's local?
Barnesinator, yeah.
Yeah, so she had never played Twilight Imperium, so I was like, okay, we've got to have a day of Twilight Imperium. So she brought along her husband, who never comes to gaming events, the Husbands, he's called.
Husbands.
And I was there, my girlfriend was there, and some of our friends. And then we had so much demand that we actually had a second game running on another table. So there were 16 people playing Twilight Imperium.
Could you Oh, that's my dog, sorry. Could you connect them through like a space tunnel?
You can, but it doesn't make sense. There is a variant because there's wormholes, and there's a variant where you make one wormhole go to the other game. It doesn't work because like the game's got such different speeds.
Yeah,
that it doesn't logistically make sense. We had
like the wormhole has arrived, but we can't go near it till.
Yeah. I'm actually halfway through a political move. Amanda Panda, who's another local content creator, was in that game, and she knocked me out of the game because she was angry at me for something I did earlier. So she had everyone vote against me, and I lost all my cards, and it was
you can get tragic. Knocked out of it. Like you can just
not knocked out, but I had built this massive hand of cards, and she passed a resolution that made the player with the most cards discard all their cards. So I was effectively out of it at that point, and I was about to win too. Such a political game. Yeah, so I still play Twilight Imperium, I still play Mage Knight, I still play all the big heavy games, but mostly these days I play like Say Anything or Green Team Wins, like very, very light games. Yeah, and I design at both extremes as well.
Yes, you do. So you've got like really small games. So you've just done Fiction with All Play, and then Rings in Things. Who's that one?
Things in Rings coming out very soon. I'm so excited.
Things in Rings. Rings in Things makes no sense.
No, not at all. Things in Rings is a Venn diagram game. So you've got 3 rings, and you're trying to work. Each ring has a rule. So like the word ring starts with a vowel. The object ring might be made of metal, and the context ring is the 3rd ring, and that might be like you'd find it at a school. So if I have an eraser, then that can be found at a school and starts with a vowel, so that would go in that intersection of the Venn diagram. And one person knows all the rules, everyone else is trying to guess them by placing items, by placing things. So you put a thing down, and if you're right, you get another turn. If you're wrong, it gets moved to the next place, and you draw a card, and you're trying to empty your hand of things.
Given Tessie loves the concept, Venn diagrams. I mean, I love a graph. I do love a graph. And I think
what kind of graph?
Pardon?
What kind of graph?
Well, my partner actually like makes graphs for a living. So like he's a science communicator. He makes like
that's cool.
So he works for a gas company and then makes like documents for their stockbrokers. So we have to explain why is this pipe doing this and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not very good with maps. There's a lot of maps. So I've given him
flowchart. Do you know what a flowchart is? You seem bewildered.
I just didn't hear it, so I just kept seeing this.
Oh,
I do know what a flowchart is. Yeah, I think
I was like flowchart, and you were like, I was like flowchart. You're like, what is happening?
Flowchart. Yeah, I do. Isn't there another game that kind of uses graphs, or am I just
dreaming?
I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm thinking of Wavelength, which isn't really a graph and more of an arrow pointing at things. It's about that's really cool. And then but every theme you've done is so vastly different. You've got Fiction, which is about books, I assume. Yep. I've not had the chance to play it. I've actually not played any all-play games other than River Valley Glassworks, which isn't even out yet.
You're playing that a bunch, right, on VGA?
Yes, playing on VGA, and I have a prototype as well that I've been showing off because it's very pretty. It's very cool and easy to learn. But I've had my eye on
Fiction is one verse many Wordle. So one person is like giving the clues in Wordle, everyone else is trying to solve the Wordle, but every time one clue is wrong. So you're trying to like work out where the lie is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because Wordle reminds me of Mastermind, like the classic.
Yeah. Very much that. Game. It's like Mastermind with a lie, but words.
Oh, that's got to be hard trying to figure out.
It's fun. It's interesting.
I love. And what make are you writing book titles, or is there book clues? Like, is that, or is it
So
just
to get a word, you pick from a book. So you could pick like Moby Dick, and then all the 5-letter words are highlighted on the page. So you can pick any of the pages, any of the words. And so everyone knows that the word is in Moby Dick. Like, it's probably not going to be whale because there's all kinds of 5-letter words in Moby Dick. But it means it's not going to be email or,
yes,
cart.
Yeah. You're setting the vibe. Like,
yeah.
Lonely man loves fish.
Yes, exactly.
Although I'm thinking of Old Man and the Sea. I've never read Moby Dick. I've read the more niche version, Old Man.
Yeah, the Hemingway Moby Dick.
Yeah, which is also equally depressing. Oh, that's really cool. So how many games have you designed now?
I've got about 20 published, I think, and about 10 coming up in the next 2 years.
Oh my goodness. So you would call yourself prolific, then, I assume?
I would call myself prolific, yeah. My favorite designer is Vlaada Chvátil, and he's very much like my model, where he made Codenames and also Mage Knight.
Wow, made Codenames. That's a big one.
He designs at the ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And everywhere in between.
Yeah. You're hearing the pitter-patter of a dog coming in the room and leaving, so enjoy that. He will bark at some point. We can all enjoy that. I think Doug's trying to steal him away. Like, geez. But yeah, so of the games that you've created, which one would you say is your like flagship, most well-known one?
Probably Critter Kitchen, I would say.
Interesting. Would you?
Possibly Village Pillage, which is like simultaneous scissor paper rock. What do you guys call it in Britain?
What do we call
rock paper scissors? Rock paper scissors.
The other way. Is it because you're Australian?
Every country, I think, puts it in a different order, and I can never remember which country is which. I've been here too long.
So I think is the official name.
Paper rock. Rock, paper, scissor, I think, is the American way to say it. Anyway, it's like that on two sides at once. So, like, you're trying to steal turnips from one neighbor by playing an attacker, but they might play a wall. But if they play a wall, you can play a farm to grow more turnips, and it's very cute. You'd like it. It's a turnip. It's the best turnip-based game.
I love turnip-based games. I'm still waiting for them to make a proper like Animal Crossing board game that's not Monopoly or Cluedo. I really want like a proper Animal Crossing build your island, turnip stock market game.
We're about to do the big box version of Village Pillage. So that'll be the final version that has everything in it on Kickstarter coming in the next few months.
Golden turnips.
Yeah. There's going to be one of the new things we're adding is it's called the Very Big Hat. And it's going to be a huge, like it's kind of like the first player token, but it's going to be a hat and it's going to be made of a turnip. It's going to be amazing.
That sounds beautiful. I can imagine that now.
And then the other one I'm best known for is That Time You Killed Me, which you can see there.
Yes.
Which is chess, time travel chess, basically.
That's cool. And I really want to play. Time travel is like one of my absolute favorite. I mean, I literally studied time travel. No, that's not true. I studied the aesthetics of time machines for my degree because I was a model maker. So we talked about why certain time machines look the way they did, and my entire dissertation was about that.
That's really cool.
I know everyone's like, oh, how hard is it to write a 4,000 word dissertation? I went, it's really hard. I want to write a 10,000 word dissertation, and they won't let me. Please let me talk about Hot Tub Time Machine and Looper. Thank you. Get
them all in. The DeLorean. Have you played any of my games other than Critter Kitchen?
You've done so many. How would I know? I have played one of Alex's, Alex Cutler, your
Team 3,
your other half, which was Emerge, but I think he developed it.
Oh yes, he developed. I was going to say that's not his game. Yes, someone in the comments has said Converge is a rising star. That's true. I have some games from Button Shy, the little 18 card company game. And
yes, I love Button Shy.
Yeah. Converge is 3 games that they released, and also apropos of movies and apropos of board games. It's very fun.
I'll have to get like a little shelf ready and just start collecting.
Yeah. Peter C. Hayward shelf.
Blue Peter shelf.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's really cool. And yeah, so obviously you mentioned Critter Kitchen. We probably should talk about it a little bit. Probably.
Yes.
Because
that game's done. I'm not working on that anymore. So why would we talk about it? I don't understand.
It's not done. Okay?
That's true.
Not from our side. Let's not let that rumor fly around.
Guys, it's been done for a full year. They're just sitting on it for no reason. It could have printed 4 years ago, and they're like, we'll just sit for a while and make
the team
them wait.
are working on it right now. But yeah, so obviously, those that don't know, but I'm sure everyone does, Cardboard Alchemy are publishing Critic Kitchen, which is PDC Hayward's and Alex Cutler's game, and the art is by Sandara Tang. And it's awesome, and it's got so many stretch goals and amazing additional cards. The most critters. I wonder if there is a test for how many critters are in a game and whether we've beat the amount of critters. But there's
I always call Village Pillage the best turnip-based game in the world, and I feel like Critter Kitchen is the most critter-filled game in the world.
Most critter filled. Yes, exactly. I don't know if we should maybe. I think we may have to count Everdell because I have a funny feeling before expansions it might
with all the expansions
have the most critters. But we're getting there, and that's a goal that we can aim for. But yeah, no, I it's so beautiful, and I've been playing the solo mode, testing it.
How are you finding it?
Really, really cool. I really like it.
Goggles.
When I was taught it, it just made so much sense immediately how the piles of cards would work and the prioritization and stuff. So I really like it. And I know that you were like, no solo mode, and then hang on.
Yeah.
there's a glimmer.
Yeah, Peter's told the story a few times, but there's a concept in game design called yomi, which is a Japanese word that basically means like outthinking your opponent's thought process. And Critter Kitchen has a lot of, so like the most yomi game is like as it's called in French, paper, rock, scissors. And that game is literally just like, can I guess what you're going to do and outthink it? You can't make a solo mode of paper, rock, scissors. No. You can't do it. It's impossible. Critter Kitchen is partially yomi, which I think of as above the table, like reading your opponents, and also partially on the table. And if a game's on the table, you can make a solo mode of it. So it's right in that middle space. So I was worried that it wasn't possible. And then one day, sat down and got it working. And so the trick was to try to recreate yomi with a AI, which is impossible to like actually create yomi unless you're, programming something with a million different steps. But we wanted to simulate that feeling. And I think you said before that like you've had this feeling of like, I was gonna go there. Why get out of the way? Like you want that feeling to be recreated.
I need a mug that says that's my cheese, because that's all I feel like I'm saying all the time. But also I did play the preset mode that we created for Essen 16 times. So I played with the mouse that loves cheese 16 times. So there was a lot of that's my cheese, because the mouse is all about doubling the cheese. Obviously, with the multiple other critics that are out there, cheese may not be the focus of the game. So it's very much my biased, skewed view of the cheese need of the game.
It's primarily a cheese-based game. Like Village Pillage is turnip-based, this is cheese-based.
It's very cheese-based, absolutely. But I really like about the McDougall's story, though, is I'm a big Stardew Valley fan. And then in that, there's the Jojo Mart, which is this evil corporation which is trying to ruin the idyllic world of Stardew Valley by sort of corporate, takeover. And so I love imagining this, like, McDougall's is like Jojo Mart, trying to just stop all these lovely restaurants from thriving. It's such a great story. And that's why you couldn't get mad at it, because it feels immersive. It feels like this shapeless, faceless corporation.
Conglomerate.
Conglomerate. It's just a glob.
Christian Strain's the developer of Critter Kitchen, and he's done a really phenomenal job of taking that solo mode and just simplifying it. In the original one that I submitted, I wanted to recreate like what it felt like when the AI was against the critic and what it was using every zoo chef. And Christian was like, "This is a lot of work." That like the AI, I think Brad, who co-owns Cardboard Alchemy, said, "We don't care if the AI is having fun. That's not the priority here. We're not trying to make sure that the AI is having a good time. Like, we're trying to make sure the player has a good time. They're going to play with the critic and the zoo chefs, but the AI doesn't have to think about any of that." And that really streamlined it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it still could take the zoo chef, but doesn't use it. Oh, it does use it. It does use it.
It uses it, but not for its special ability. It's just like, I don't care that Alex loves bread. Why? I'm McDonald's. Why would I care about that?
Just use it.
Yeah.
Meadow said, since there will always be a critic there, one of the goals will always be shared, and then you can play on it to outsmart the other players. Yes. My brain and big boys and six.
Yes. Saying that because the critic affects everyone, we all want to impress the critic in the same way in Critter Kitchen.
Yes, absolutely.
Like
Because
the
that's
rabbit
what
loves carrots.
critics are. We all need to impress critics and reviewers.
Yes.
So I have a little quiz that I'd
yes.
like people to take part in. It's 20
Can they take part in
questions.
it?
They can take part in it by just like
Can I?
making note of their answer. You're going to be doing the quiz. You're doing the quiz. It's mostly for you. But if everyone wants to take part in it, feel free to like comment answers. I'm not gonna be able to stop you. There's no point me trying to. But like if you want to like make a note of your answers and then just I'm gonna give the answer immediately, so you can just like score immediately, and at the end see how you did out of 20, and then let me know. So
the challenge is to beat me. Trying to beat my score.
Trying to beat your score. And you said you're an omni gamer, so you play all of the games.
I'll tell you, I'm not that good at keeping up with new games. That's probably my big weakness. I don't
think I went too new.
Okay. Because like I really want to play. Anyway, there's a bunch of new games out that I want to play that I haven't yet. So
I only play new games, as we've discovered.
I know.
You're like, oh no, she wrote it. Pop quiz, hot shot.
Am I the hot shot?
I'm not going to blow up your bus. That's a no. Speed? No, the movie Pop Quiz.
I know Speed. I don't remember the Pop Quiz in Speed.
He says like Pop Quiz hot shot. Like the guy to him on. Never mind. Other people will get it. I'm clearly like
Man of War already got 20 out of 20.
Oh man. Okay, so questions 1 to 5 are going to be guess the game from the box art.
So do you want me to delay before I answer so that people get a chance to like write down their answer?
I mean,
should I write down my answers and then we'll do them?
No, you should just like say it. It's fine. It's a pop quiz. It's fine. It's fine. You can like have a think and then be like,
what if I don't need to, Rosie? What if I just know it straight away?
And go, oh, I know it.
Okay. I'll
okay. Right. I hope this like works because All right. 1 to 5 are there because I can only put 10 slides in this entire system, so I've had to like put some together. So let me just remove the banner because that might be annoying.
Oh, I don't think I know number 5.
No.
I know the first 4.
You know the first 4?
Oh yes, I do know number 5. Yes, with the banner gone, it's much clearer. So
Ellie knows those 4. What is number 1?
Hey, That's My Fish.
Yes, an amazing game. Amazing.
Yes, so fun.
There's also like a 3D coming or something. I don't know. I can't remember. 2.
Friedman Freeze's classic game, Power Grid,
which I actually dislike. Anyway, had a really bad gaming experience with it. And
I think I've heard this story. Yes,
it was just 4 hours locked in a chair. Literally couldn't leave. Number 3,
the original version of Camel Up or Camel
which is
Cup.
The version I have.
You don't have the new one?
No.
Oh, the new one's so good.
But I have the like play mat for the original one.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Now that I have the new one, I can't go back.
Don't even start because I can't like with books. I already own 4 copies of my favorite book. I can't do this. It's just not. No.
It's so good.
Number 4.
I want to say Betrayal on the House on the Hill, but it could be Mansions of Madness. I've not played either of them, and I always get them confused.
Which one are you going with?
Betrayal on the House on the Hill.
It is Betrayal, yeah, yes. It is. Which was one of the first games, like modern board games I ever played.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's like a different angle to come into board gaming, and I didn't come in through that way, so I never got there.
Yeah. And number 5?
Pandemic, classic.
Is it though?
Oh, is it not Pandemic? Pandemic Legacy Season 1?
Yeah. But is it though? I'm pretty sure it's Legacy 1. Doug was like, is it? And I was like, I didn't think about that. I forgot.
I know it's a Pandemic. When the thing was covering it up, I thought it was like floorboards and like a rat tail, and I couldn't work it out. And then I saw the bottom half and I was like, oh, it's Pandemic. The original printing of Pandemic, you know how you have the different roll cards?
Yeah.
I think it's like the medic is just someone's picture that they took from the internet and then like filtered. And someone one day was like playing Pandemic, and they're like, "This is me. I'm in this game."
What?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's scary. That's really scary. There's a game called Fortune and Glory, which is actually people dressed up as the artwork. So it's not artwork; it's like photos, like cosplayed. It feels like people made it. Like it feels like people made it. You know, when you're like people made it.
Yeah. Feels. Yeah. Have you seen? Do you know the what is it? Rising Sun story?
No.
So Rising Sun has a whole bunch of Japanese spirits,
Yeah.
And Eric Lang, for like, they had so much promo content, so much bonus content. He clearly used Wikipedia as a source because one of them is a prank. Someone like edited themselves into the Wikipedia article as like just their name as a Japanese spirit, and it made it into the printing of Rising Sun.
Oh, it's like when someone Googled like how to a recipe for something for their book, and it was a recipe for something in Zelda.
Oh yes, yes.
Like how to make dye or something. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you did get all 5 of those correct, which is very impressive. Well done.
An asterisk for pandemic.
So, question 6. It's going to be a question one. In the classic game Love Letter, which character has this power? If the player plays or discards this card for any reason, they're eliminated from the round.
I know the number. I think I know the number. Yeah, I know the number. I'm struggling with this. It's like I keep wanting to say the Countess. It's not the Countess. It's not the courtesan. It's the mistress. What is she called?
Mm.
I don't know what she's called. The Courtessa, the Countessa.
If you don't have Love Letter immediately to hand, are you a board gamer?
I do have it. I could go get it, but I feel like that's a little bit cheating. Princess, Duke, King. What is she called? I'm gonna go. Oh God, that's gonna really annoy me.
It's gonna annoy
It is
you.
the mistress. It's the someone's laughing at me.
The princess. You said it.
It's the princess. Who? Yeah. I'm thinking of the one where
like, princess. Da, 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 and I was like, yes.
No. It's, who's the one right below her? I read the power as that.
Oh, the one right below her is the Countess.
Countess.
Okay, discard if caught with the king or prince.
Yes. Okay, I was wrong on 2 levels.
5 out of 6 so far. I
should have got that one. I misread the power. I was thinking of like if you discard the like if you have the prince or the king, you must discard the countess.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I just got the Bridgerton one, which has 3 new characters in it, and
Ooh.
1 I love it because I'm a big Bridgerton fan. But like 2, like there's like 3 more characters.
Yes, that is an embarrassing L for me. I should absolutely have gotten that.
You did know more than I'd be going. What are characters? Okay, so
I can name every other character in that and what they do. I just could not remember Countess, which was unhelpful anyway. What game
has this card art? So this is all from one game.
Oh, that's I mean, let me think. What could it be? I'm pretty sure that's.
Game?
I aggressively dislike this game.
Really?
I assume this is Time Stories.
It is, yes.
Yes. The top right one is actually the one that gave it away to me.
Really?
Yeah, that scene is so.
The bottom 2 what gave it away to me. The bottom 2.
Yeah. So Time Stories, I think, is such a clever, interesting idea that my friends were so into the idea of playing, but the combat system is just needlessly overwrought. Like, you need someone to manage just the combat, and it doesn't add enough to the game to be worth the amount of work that it does.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I just wish that it had like a dev pass to take out the combat system.
I very much enjoyed The Asylum, the first one. Really loved it. And there was one about a missing girl, and I didn't clock what we were doing until too late. And I think I wished I'd sort of understood that they were all different types of game. When I went into it, I thought it's going to be the same as Asylum, but a different theme. Right. And they're just different games. We have so many sealed ones to play. But I agree, it's an incredible
The variance in the writing is so high too that it's sort of like it's a gamble every time you open one.
Yeah. Well, beautiful art though. look at those pods.
Yes, I do like the art.
Question 8. What game is this rule from? Ooh. If you become more than a grandmaster at murdering people, instead of removing more pieces, you should probably turn yourself into the police.
Is the answer that?
If you got this wrong, it would have been really funny. By the way, as I said, watch the sunset on me. It's gotten dark.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This,
what game is it?
I want to say That Time You Killed Me by notoriously handsome designer Peter C. Hayward.
So when I was thinking it'd be funny to put one of your own like writing in. And I sort of just like Googled Peter C. Hayward rules or whatever, and there was a literary review saying that this rulebook was the funniest rulebook anyone had ever read. And then I looked and I went, I can see why, because stuff like this would
it's
make
a lot
me
of fun.
giggle.
I had the graphic designer send it to me, like, to leave white spaces, and everywhere there was a white space, I was allowed to put in a joke. So, like, it was very fun to, like, write jokes into the rule book.
That's a great idea. As I love writing puns for Critter Kitchen, I can totally appreciate that.
The context for this rule, for people who don't know, is that That Time You Killed Me is a 2-player abstract, and the way that you balance it is if I'm better at it, I start with fewer pieces, up to a maximum of 3, and that's called Grandmaster. And if you're better than that at murdering your opponent, it says don't remove more pieces. Just go turn yourself in.
Yeah, you're clearly too good.
Yes.
Which when I'm playing solo games and there's like this extensive numbers of you've got to get this many points for this, I'm like, no one's done that, surely. They've only added it because someone one day might, and they're just protecting themselves. And you've just solved it there. You're like, nope, you shouldn't be better than this. You've got a problem.
Someone in the comments has said that there are some pretty good jokes in the Mission Catastrophe rulebook.
I'm sure there are. I'm waiting for my copy, but obviously they're hard to get. So
most publishers don't let me put jokes in my rulebook. I have so many good ones. They end up cutting it because
they're like, people need to know how to play it.
Yeah,
don't trick them. We've got some really literal people knocking around.
My favorite one that didn't make it in was there's a tiebreaker, the second tiebreaker, and the third tiebreaker was to commit seppuku, and the first person to die wins. And they were like, "No, we're not putting that in." I was like, "But."
Oh my goodness. 9 to 12 is guess the game from the components. Okay. I'm going to have to remove the banner because it will cover up some of them.
Okay, I know 1. I know 9. Oh, I don't know if I know. Oh, I don't know if I know 10. I have a guess, but I don't know. 11 I know, but I don't know the name of. And 12 I have no idea. I've never seen that.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
9 is Quaxquellingberg. Amazing game.
And they've just released Quaxquellingberg Duel 2-player version.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I'm truly fascinated.
They have Junior too, which I might get when I next see my son, who is a little tiny 6-year-old who loves games.
They do have Junior. It's a really funny, stressful game. I enjoy it a
lot. 10, I want to guess Magic Maze.
You are correct. That is the tapper that you rigorously tap on the table.
I was like, that's not the player token. Weirdly, the plus is what gave it like that. You don't see many pluses in games.
That's so. The plus is the bit I was like, is that not needed? I can't remember what it was called, but the artwork and the directional north part.
Yeah. The NA threw me, but okay. 11 is a kids' table board game called Wasabi.
No,
what is that called?
This might be. You said you're not like new. This is fairly new.
Yeah, I know the game. It's
well, you think I'm going to turn my light on because I think I'm just going to end up in complete shadow.
You slice up. You roll a bunch of dice. You put into a grid, and you're trying to like slice them and take your share. It's by Kids Table Board Games, which is run by Helena Capel and Josh Capel. Oh, Helena Capel runs it. Josh Capel does a lot of the art and graphic design.
Do you know all the stats?
They published one of my games, Bugs and Rugs.
Bugs and Rugs. I love Pugs and Rugs.
You'd probably like Bugs and Rugs. I don't know what this game's called.
Well, you can kind of guess it from...
Slice the dice.
It's called Diced Veggies.
Diced Veggies. Yeah, I would not have got there, but... and then 12 looks like... Oh, is that Onirim? No.
Yes!
Yes? I thought that was only cards. I didn't know that had tokens.
So I think what happened was they made the games in one style and same art, but like in a style. And then Z-Man Games picked it up a while ago and did their own. And then when they added in like 7 more expansions, because there were like 7 expansions with it, they added one of the expansions needs a meeple. So there are these beautiful, thick, chunky meeples, one of them in each of the boxes. And they're really fun and tactile.
I'm very happy with that one. That was
well done. So you've got 2 wrong so far. That's how I'm keeping the maths in my head.
Dice Veggies and the Princess. I'm gonna
Princess.
Tonight.
The Princess. Okay, back to my banners. We are.
When I first got ChatGPT, one of the things I got it to do was explain the rules of love letter as a rap.
It could be a rap. It could honestly. I do find the theme of Love Letter makes like no sense. Like trying to get the letter where, like what's going on. And actually, I think Bridgerton did a better job because you get diamonds and you're trying to like become the diamond of the season or something. It just makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But that's just my own biased view. What game is this quote about? Let's get the right picture. Wait, that's wrong. We're not on 13. We are on 13.
Yeah, 9 through 12. 13 comes next.
Let me just add the picture to my quiz thing because it's not there. One second. It's here. There we go.
Is that by any chance this game?
No, it's not.
No.
But I can see why you might think it.
Because that's the only Mark Street video I've ever seen.
Interesting.
So Craft would be my second guess.
Pardon? Flamecraft.
Flamecraft would be my second guess.
Tis indeed, yes. It's a trick one where you're more guessing from the font than you are what's being said. Because what's being said...
I didn't even look at the font.
What's being said could be implied to quite a few different games.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm just going to grab a quote from Flamecraft because I thought it was fun.
Critic Kitchen was the first Mark Street video I ever saw. And the only Mark Street video I've seen. So
Wow. Well, I highly recommend watching this one.
What is Flamecraft? What? Is it like Minecraft?
Yeah, it's Flamecraft, lowercase c. If you want to Google that, you could check that out.
Because Google cares about the upper or lower case.
Yeah, it won't come up otherwise. It'll actually come up with ways to craft literal fire. Yeah. That's what that's going to do. So I have a couple of riddles for you.
Oh, okay.
So question 14 and 15 is guess the game from the riddle. This one's really hard, so just prepare you.
Is the answer teeth? The Hobbit. Twilight Imperium? Yeah, Twilight Imperium.
Yes. Annoyed that you spoke about it so much earlier and like he's going to get that.
Is that the symbol of the Empire from Star Wars? Is that why it's Imperium?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was like...
Most people get it from the Twilight.
I was like, it's not Twilight Struggle.
Are there many Twilight? I wish there was a Twilight board game that was really good. How amazing would it be if there was an actual really good modern board game that was themed on Twilight?
Like you're fighting the Voltari or like...
Or you're just trying to end up married to Edward.
That's
just the whole goal is a bunch of teenage girls just trying to marry Edward. And if you lose, then you get stuck with a werewolf. Next one.
Oh, Catan. I was like, Cat Hathaway? Who's Cat Hathaway?
What some people who did this answered, like, I was like, why would it be Cat Hathaway? Like, why? What planet is there a Cat Hathaway game? I mean, you never know.
I should be vamping more for these. It was, what could it be?
Or you need to make everybody shine under the sun. Yeah, you gather glitter for your skin.
like a resistance game. You're trying to work out who's the vampire, and you can solve it by like putting everyone into the sun.
Yes, I think it just should be about surviving because there's so many times that she should have gone. You're a very clumsy player. That's what it is. You're really clumsy, and your boyfriend loves you, but you might die. There should be a Catan with Anne Hathaway. That would be amazing. I would love that. I mean, there's not enough Anne Hathaway themed games, to be honest.
That is, some could argue zero.
There are zero. Yeah.
The Princess Diaries game.
There should be. I mean, I'm a big Princess Diaries fan. I'm the age for Princess Diaries. You know, it was
Brokeback Mountain, the board game.
I mean, there are many cowboy games.
Great Western Trail. It has a whole different tone.
Yeah.
Brad Book says Cat Hathaway is our 2026 release.
Brad, are you here? You're sneaking in. He's not helping you.
Nope.
He's done it already, so I know his score. You still only got 2 wrong, I believe. Although you did say
3 if we count Flamecraft.
Yeah, so 3. So this one is guess the game from its stretch goals.
Ooh.
Yes. So number 16 is this one.
What? Oh, I should know this.
It's got a style.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually going to take a minute. Actually, I don't think I do know this one. I'm reading the description. It says like Magoria, and I'm like, that word is not familiar to me. Dark Alley. Sounds like Harry Potter, but I don't think there's a Harry Potter game on Kickstarter.
I've
those images.
I've never played this, but I was very captivated by the whole concept, but it was just too heavy for me.
Interesting.
And complex, I think was the word. But I've not played it. Again, it looks stunning.
I mean, I can throw out some guesses, but I don't. It's literally just guesses. Now I can't remember the name of the game or the designer. The Inventors one, like the Victorian Inventors game.
No.
Okay. Fromage. It doesn't look enough like fromage, but I liked fromage.
Look at that banner with that one on the end that's meant to be an exclamation mark. Can we highlight on that?
Where?
I've made a banner that says "From its stretch goals 1."
You also got the wrong "it's," but I didn't want to draw attention to it.
Yeah, you're right. That's also wrong. Yeah, I feel like that's a sort of the red herring questions that I'm sort of throwing in there for you. What's wrong with this sentence in many ways? This game is called Trickerion.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Oh,
I've never even heard of that one.
It's a big, complex game, and it's by the same people who made Septima, which is a witchy game.
I don't know Septima either.
This is where I get you. I get you with the stretch goals. This is where I get you.
Is this new?
No.
Oh.
It's not new at all. It's like 5-6 years ago? Something like that. Is that new to you, though? Who knows?
Trickerium.
The art says what it is. Don't even joke. Does it? That would be hilarious. I mean, it's pretty small for us, though. Let's say that. Next one. It's a style. If you don't know the style,
it's not one of the leader games. Is it something Red Raven? That doesn't look like his art style.
It's a Red Raven, yeah.
Oh, it is Red Raven. What was the follow-up? The Sleeping Gods?
No. But you are right in that it's a Red Raven game, so you did spot the art style.
Above and below, I guess? No, what was the one after that? Near and far.
Yes, it's near and far. Yes. I mean, that's good. That's good, because this style could be a lot of people's styles. Which is one of my favorite games. So, yeah. 5 wrong. This is such a negative way to do it. This is how many you've wrong. Because I can't count backwards. This one?
Follow the ranger along the path. I mean, my first instinct is Everdell, but I don't know that it is Everdell. It's Everdell?
Yeah. It's Everdell.
What's the new Everdell? Like Farside or something? What's that one called?
Farshore, but that wasn't Kickstarted, I don't think.
I probably would have guessed Farshore before Everdell, to be honest.
Well, Farshore is like boaty and sea-y.
Yeah. There's water there.
Wooden Twigs. I thought the Wooden Twigs would give it away.
I've only played Everdell once. So it was about 4 years ago. So I really liked it. I just haven't had a chance to play it.
I thought you'd seen my content. I mentioned Everdell like 600 times.
You very rarely zoom in on the Wooden Twigs. That's the real...
I definitely do. Hey, you.
I'm going to take that one because these are very hard.
Well, you can take that one. Don't worry. 5 wrong, I've said. Not 6.
5 wrong. That is absolutely root.
Yeah.
I could have gotten that from like a quarter of that image, I think. In any part of that, I would have known root.
I mean, I've not played it, okay? And I do want to, but I'm aware that you have to invest quite a lot of time.
It's crunchy. It's way crunchier than the art makes it look.
I know, right? I want them to do like My Little Root.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, yes, I'll do it. But it's stunning, and I just think the meeple design for this, it's just perfect. Although I do think
the game design is stunning too. Like it's phenomenally designed.
I know, and the mouse looks like a mini Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I kind of love. Just like the builder in Carcassonne looks like Bram Stoker's Dracula. So a little
I think you have a vampire thing we're learning in the stream.
Yeah, I think so too. When I was younger, I certainly did, but it was forced upon us, wasn't it? Really, for my age, we didn't get much else. Hide, and the last one is just a question. Just a question. Yeah. Just a little question. What's my favorite board game?
I know that you hate that railroad. I'm not even going to start there.
Did I use this question as a way for you to admit
that is my favorite game? Wait, bear with me. Let's see. What's your favorite board game? I'm going to say Black Orchestra.
You'd rather lose a point than admit.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to. Do you know Black Orchestra? I feel like that's like a contender for the least rosy game possible.
No, I haven't. Is it about an orchestra?
No, it's a super gritty game, like dark and like and crunchy about trying to assassinate Hitler.
Oh no!
Yeah, like it's so far out of your realm.
All you need to say is Nazis, and it's not for me.
Yeah,
like it's
or the war in North Africa would be my second guess.
Interesting.
You know that one?
It's definitely not that. It's not.
I've not heard of this game. What's this?
It's called Railroad Inc. You will lose a point for that. You will. So that was 6 wrong. So you 14.
Wrong,
yes. Which
Brad
got 12. So
okay, I'll take it.
You did very well. He also did not guess my favorite game. He gave a completely random one as well. So it's a running joke. I will say they are bringing out a new Railroad Inc. called Railroad Tiles, which is sort of Carcassonne style, which I'm really excited about. And I will be backing that.
The Campaign for North Africa. That's what it's called. It's a game that takes about 10,000 hours to play.
I have played quite a lot of long games, such as.
I'm not exaggerating. Literally 10,000 hours.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Like
12.
No human
you did well. Brad got 12, and Lauren on our team also got 12. So I think that's sort of a good score. That was my first ever quiz I've made about board games.
Liked it.
Was it good? Really it was a mix. Yeah. I will be honest in that I did use other quizzes and sort of make my own version. But they were all like all compartment counterpart or bit based or all stretch goals based. I was like, no, you don't want this many.
The stretch goals one is rough. Like it requires this very specific subset of knowledge.
I was slowly building you up to the final hardest question of all. Could you say my favorite game?
In fairness, I think if you played Black Orchestra, it would replace whatever that other one was as your favorite game. I think you would just love it so much.
Black Orchestra where cozy isn't is what Brad says. I have played Seventh Continent, which was 20 hours of playing the first part. And I would love to play more. I just do not have the time, and my friends have children, and we were just like, we can't have sleepovers playing this game.
Can't commit to this.
But he owns all of it. They own all of the whole thing. Was fun, but a lot more challenging than I thought. Well,
Good.
I know, but I think if you get over 50% with me, that's gold star. So
that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That's very fun.
If anyone's watching this later on, please comment what your scores were, what you got. If you want more quizzes like this, let me know, and I'll make Peter make them next time.
I'd have a lot. I used to run. They don't have them here, but you know, I used to run panel shows in Melbourne. So I'd get comedians up, and we'd do quizzes, and that was like my whole thing for like 3 years.
I know. I mean, quizzes were the entirety of lockdown for me. Every Friday was big. It was like all the families connected together on Zoom and did a quiz, and if you won the quiz, you had to make the quiz. And it was just going back and forth between me and Doug and my brother and his wife, because it's not me. Doug is very, very smart. Yeah. And we were doing like funny, like movie sounds. I'd like sing the lyrics to a song and then put my voice through a filter.
That's cool.
Deep Sea Adventure. Yeah, Deep Sea Adventure could be one of my faves. I thought people usually guess Everdell. I could say Flamecraft, but it would be very biased at this point. So it tends to be sort of like it's always there.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a full answer. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in with my quiz and joining us.
That was super fun.
Next week, I am going to be joined by your rival, Alex Cutler.
My rival?
Because I don't know if I'll do a quiz for him. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just do the same quiz. He won't watch this.
But the audience.
Yeah, that's true. That would
go make another one. Or I get someone on the team to make one and complete it, because as you can tell, a lot of those were cozy. Not all of them, but many of them were.
No, that's true. There was a Pandemic. That's not cozy. There's
I
Betrayal
have
on the
played
House on the
Pandemic
Hill.
Legacy. I had a great time, but I'm not a big fan of map games. I don't like looking at a map for too long. I just don't know what it
Really?
is about maps. I find them
So
quite
like
boring.
some kind of game where you're like building a map out of railroads would be exactly not your kind
It's
of
not a
thing.
map though. I mean like a literal map. I actually quite like Near and
How is
Far.
it not a map?
Well, okay.
How are you defining map here?
Maybe a map of the world or map of a fantasy world that looks like a world. That's specific.
Gotcha.
But one of my favorite games when I was younger was Great Game of Britain, which is one of the cruelest games ever, where you trap your friends and family in parts of the UK and then put the little stoppers down so the trains are broken and they have to roll a dice to try and escape.
Oh goodness!
And it's very mean, very mean.
That sounds exhausting.
So I don't mind. I don't dislike all map games. But something about staring at a map for like a few hours that I'm like, oh, it could be more exciting, could be more thrilling, you know. An anti-Earth bias. I don't know what it is. I mean, I love Near and Far because it's more like a Lord of the Rings map. Maybe that's what I prefer, Lord of the Rings map style. But you know, but yeah, thanks so much for joining me on this.
Thanks for having me. This is super fun,
and this was really fun. And yeah, well done for getting 15 out of 20, 14, something like that. 14. I'm just giving you. You do know my favorite game. You just won't admit it to yourself.
Yeah, Black Orchestra. I think I was robbed. No, the princess one. I'm gonna kick myself about that.
I'm glad I got you with one of them where you're like, oh, I should know this.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, and have a lovely rest of your day. As you can see, it's the evening now in the UK. So
it is.
I'm gonna eat.
About to turn noon here.
Noon. It's about to turn 7.
Have you heard from Peter? Do you know how his China adventure is going?
I probably should have said stuff in this about that, shouldn't I? Yes, it's going really well. He's been to the plant for the minis for Andromeda's Edge. He's been to see the wood being made. I believe Critter Kitchen stuff has been discussed, but I didn't see anything yet. But Andromeda's Edge stuff is full steam ahead. Lots of really cool. And we did share some stuff in the Andromeda's Edge fan group, which you can see a little video of Peter arriving, which was made by Longpack, who are the manufacturer. And it was like a sort of the Queen had arrived. It was amazing. I don't know why I keep saying Queen, maybe King.
Yeah.
I'm still not used to it. But yeah, so it was really great. And it was very exciting. And I think his body clock's still completely off because, you know, it'll be like 1 a.m. He's like, hey. For him.
I mean, in fairness, he doesn't sleep ever, so.
Yeah, but you'd hope that on a little holiday that he get some sleep.
No, I absolutely would not expect that.
It's really exciting. I actually studied molding and casting in my degree, and
cool.
I find the process of making the molds for the minis and how they apply things just really fascinating.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see lots of footage that I can turn into content, and then we can share around, and so people can see how stuff gets made. It's really cool.
That's super rad.
It's not just
so much for having me.
Thank you, and have a lovely rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next live in the comments.
Yes.
Everyone else.
Afterwards.
Afterwards, with your breakfast.
Yes.
All right. Thanks so much, everyone. And